Yeah, it should be fine too.
It's okay. I'll use this one because I think
because
the camera
and everything.
Yeah,
Line,
so we still will keep it back. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
we'll use
That's fine. Yeah, if you add that, then fine. I believe the flex box is there. Camera is in.
Oh, okay, so
Flex
we'll
box.
move it
Yeah,
back.
manage to get the flex box.
Okay, so we'll remove
Yeah.
that.
hopefully nobody will trip over. Thank you, Prabhu. It should be fine. I will adjust it. Hare Krishna, everyone. So we're going to have Bhagavad Gita class. So I would like to ask you to move here so that we can see each other, and you can still be at your side to the deities and another side to Srila Prabhupada. So with that we can have a nice discussion. Hare Krishna. So we'll start with the prayer, Jaya Radha Madhava prayer. So if you know the prayer, please join with us. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradari Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna. So now we're going to recite some glorification prayers to previous acharyas. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Ashtadarshat Shishmad. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Ashtadarshat Shishmad. His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Namacharya Shila Haridas Thakur ki, Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyama Kundarada Kundagiri Govardhan ki, Vrindavan Dham ki, Mayapur Dham ki, Jagannakshetra Dham ki, Ganga Mai ki, Yamuna Mai ki, Tulsi Maharani ki, Harinam Sankirtan Yagya ki, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Okay, so thank you so much for being here, for coming to Bhaktivedanta Manor Temple and wanting to attend the Bhagavad Gita class. So before we start, we recite the prayers. Yes, you can join. Please sit down nicely. Yes, thank you. Come here closer. Come here. So I can see you. Good. Okay, we're going to read Bhagavad Gita, yeah? Together. So do you know the prayers? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Anyway, try to repeat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Very good. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Great. So we are reading today from chapter 2, from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 67, as you can see on the board. So I'm going to read, and if you could please repeat, yeah? Line after line we'll be reading. Can you read Sanskrit? Yes? I'm sure you can try. You can try. Okay. Indriyanam hicharatam yan mano nu vidiyate tatasya harati prajnam vayurnavam ivambasi indriyanam hicharatam yan mano nu vidiyate tadasya harati prajnam vayurnavam ivambasi. Anyone would like to try? Indriyanam hicharatam yan mano nu vidiyate tadasya harati prajnam vayurnavam ivambasi. Anyone else would like to try? No? Okay. Indriyanam, of the senses. He, certainly. Charatam, while roaming. Yat, with which. Mana, the mind. Anuvidiyate, becomes constantly engaged. Tat, that. Asya, his. Harati, takes away. Prajnam, intelligence. Vayu, wind. Navam, a boat. Iva, like. Ambasi, on the water. Okay. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. As a strong wind sweeps away a boat on the water, even one of the roaming senses on which the mind focuses can carry away immense intelligence. If you can please repeat. As a strong wind sweeps away a boat on the water, even one of the roaming senses on which the mind focuses can carry away immense intelligence. Purport: unless all of the senses are engaged in the service of the Lord, even one of them engaged in sense gratification can deviate the devotee from the path of transcendental advancement. As mentioned in the life of Maharaj Ambarish, all of the senses must be engaged in Krishna consciousness, for that is the correct technique for controlling the mind. Om Jnanatirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruvei Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopasha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Indriyanam hicharatam yanamano nuvidiyate tazasya harati prajnam vayurnavam ivam basi. As a strong wind sweeps away a boat on the water, even one of the roaming senses on which the mind focuses can carry away immense intelligence. So before I start, I would like to ask the blessings of all of you assembled here and those listening online so that I can speak according to the scriptures and for the benefit of all of us and also for my purification. So, yeah, this is a very beautiful verse which describes how important it is to control the senses. And in this verse specifically, it is mentioned that it's not enough just to control one sense. All of our senses have to be controlled. Has anyone heard the story of Maharaj Ambarish? Maharaj Ambarish. So Maharaj Ambarish was a great devotee of the Lord. And he was actually the emperor of the entire world. He ruled the entire world, so he was a very powerful personality. And someone who rules the whole world, of course, is very rich, right? Would you like to be very rich? Yeah, of course, everyone wants to be rich. But what was special about Maharaj Ambarish is that even though he was very rich, he was the emperor of the entire world, but he was not attached to his wealth. When people have a lot of money, it's actually the more one has, the more one becomes fearful of losing that money. Because if you don't have anything, then you're not worried about losing it because you don't have it. But the more you have, the more you're scared to lose it. But Maharaj Ambarish was different because even though he had so much opulence, so much wealth, he was not worried. So how is it possible? It's because just like when we don't have anything, we are not worried of losing it. So Maharaj Ambarish didn't feel like it's his, even though he was ruling the kingdom, but he didn't feel like it's my kingdom. He considered that he is the servant of the Lord, and he is the one who he got that kingdom under his care, but actually it belongs to the Lord. So he didn't feel afraid of losing it because he was just doing his service of being the king, but he considered that the kingdom belongs to the Lord anyway, so there is no question of losing it. So what he was doing is called Yukta Vairagya. That means feasible renunciation. That means renunciation, which is one type of renunciation is when we say no to things. Like, for example, some yogis don't breathe, don't eat, don't drink, don't sleep, don't do anything, go to the forest and just meditate. That's one sort of renunciation, like giving up this material world and going to the forest. But another type of renunciation is when we engage in this material world, but we engage in such a way that we don't become attached. So that's what Maharaj Ambarish was doing. He was ruling the kingdom, he had family, he had his palace, but his mindset was that I'm just doing it as my service, as my duty, but nothing belongs to me. And whatever he was doing, he was thinking of the Lord. Whatever he was doing for the Lord. And in this way, he never became entangled in his activity. Because we have actually 3 types of karma. One karma is good karma. When we do something good comes, right? When we do something bad comes. But there is also 3rd type of karma, which is called akarma. That means we do activities, but we don't get any reaction. And not good, not bad, rather our previous reactions become purified. And the more we do it, the more we engage in akarma, the more we become purified of good and bad karma. And at the end of our life, when we are completely pure of all karma, we can then go back to Godhead. We can be free from the cycle of birth and death. So that's what Maharaj Ambarish was doing. He was engaging in his activities, in his everyday life, but for the purpose of pleasing the Lord. And that's called Bhakti Yoga. That means we may be doing different activities in our life, but we do it as service to Krishna. And if in our mind we want to please Krishna, then that becomes devotional service. So, but there was one incident, what happened, because one day Maharaj Ambarish was observing Ekadashi. Do you know what is Ekadashi? Yes? Does everyone know what is Ekadashi? Okay. So Ekadashi is actually, it's connected to the movement of the moon. And so every more or less 2 weeks, there is moon is in a position, it's either waning or waxing, and that time is considered to be very good for fasting, for purification, and preparing our body for a certain phase of the moon cycle, because actually we don't even realize how the movement of the planets is affecting us in our everyday life. So it is said that on that day, on Ekadashi day, it's very good to fast because it's good for our body, and also that day is considered to be very auspicious to do whatever spiritual activity we can do. The best, of course, is engaged in chanting the holy name of Krishna, but also reading, coming to the temple. These Ekadashi days, they're considered to be like mothers of devotion, that's what it said. And we don't have to fast completely, that's the best. The best way to observe Ekadashi is not to eat, not to drink. But Srila Prabhupada introduced for us a little bit more easy way to fast. He said at least not to eat grains and pulses. So that comes twice in a month, every 2 weeks more or less. If you would like to know the days, then you can take like a little calendar from the reception. And it's a little austerity, but it will really help you in your spiritual life. Even if we just do that, just fast on Ekadashi days, at least avoid grains and pulses like beans and rice, things like that, then it will help us in our spiritual life. And it will help our body as well, little fasting. So those, at that time, when it was Ekadashi day, and then next day is Dvadashi. It's, yes, so Ekadashi means 11th day, and then Dvadashi means 12th day of the moon cycle. And on the Dvadashi day, one is supposed to break the fast from Ekadashi. And there is a certain time when one should break that fast. It's important to break the fast in a specific time. So if the day before we were fasting, no water, no food, then next day there is a specific time when we should drink water. Or if the day before we were eating, but we were not eating grains, then next day we should eat some grains during that specific time. So one time Maharaj Ambarish was observing he actually the day before he fasted on Ekadashi, and it was Dvadashi, and he was preparing to break his fast, to drink a little bit of water. And at that time, great sage Durvasa Muni came to his house. And Durvasa Muni is famous for getting angry easily. He can be very easily pleased, but also he can be angered easily. When he is pleased, then he will bestow a lot of benediction, but when he is angry, he will then also be not very pleasant person. So when he arrived to the house of Maharaj Ambarish, Maharaj Ambarish, of course, received him very happily and invited him for the meal. And Durvasa Muni accepted the invitation, but he said that, okay, first I would like to bathe in the river. So he went to bathe in the river, and it took him some time because he got absorbed in meditation. And so the time for breaking the fast was approaching. Maharaj Ambarish knew, now I have to break the fast. But my guest is not coming. And in the Vedic culture, it is very important that when we invite a guest, this is the custom in Vedic culture, that we first offer the food or water to the guest before we eat ourselves. So Maharaj Ambarish was very confused because he didn't want to break the etiquette and eat or drink before his guest comes, but also he knew that the time for breaking the fast is very close, coming to an end. So he took advice from the learned Brahmanas, and they told him, just drink a little bit of water, because drinking a little bit of water is breaking and not breaking the fast. So just do it. He did it, and Durvasa Muni, by his mystic power, was able to understand that that's what happened, that Maharaj Ambarish drank a little bit of water. And because he was very short-tempered, he got angry. He got angry that the host invited him, but started to drink, and before him, he didn't offer him water first, he drank. So Durvasa Muni was so angry, he came to the house of Maharaj Ambarish, and he became chastising him. But he was not satisfied by chastising him, and from the lock of his hair, he manifested a demon, which was like a death personified, fiery demon. And so how would we react when someone is just in front of us, wanting to attack us, and we didn't even do anything wrong? How would you react? Would you get angry, or would you try to defend yourself? Yes, naturally we would try to defend ourselves, right? So that was interesting, because Maharaj Ambarish, he was such a pure devotee of the Lord, and he had so much faith in the Lord that he did not even try to protect himself. He just was standing there, and he was ready to accept whatever was coming to him. And he had like a full conviction that whatever is happening to him is meant to be, and the Lord will protect him. And because Lord Krishna says, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chadushkritam dharma samstapanartaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So he says to deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants. I come millennium after millennium. So, and he proved it, that he actually came. He didn't come personally, but he sent his Sudarshan Chakra. He sent his Sudarshan Chakra to protect his devotee. So that's Krishna's weapon. Sudarshan Chakra is Krishna's weapon. And he sent that weapon to Krishna to chase Durvasa Muni. So first that weapon came and killed this fiery demon, and then it began to chase Durvasa Muni. And Durvasa Muni was trying to run away all over the world, and he even went to other planetary systems, and nowhere could he find a shelter because that Sudarshan Chakra was still chasing him. Finally, he went all the way to Lord Narayan himself. And then Lord Narayan said, I'm so sorry, I cannot help you. You have to go and beg at the feet of that devotee that you offended, and beg for the mercy, for the forgiveness. So that's what he did. Durvasa Muni, he went to beg forgiveness from Maharaj Ambarish. And of course, Maharaj Ambarish was embarrassed. He felt, oh, who am I to even forgive you? Who am I for you to fall at my feet? He was so humble that he just begged Sudarshan Chakra to forgive Durvasa Muni, and in Sudarshan Chakra became pacified, and Durvasa Muni was saved. So there are a few lessons from this story, from this pastime. Is first of all that we should never offend others, because we don't know who that person is and how dear that person is to the Lord. Actually, everyone is dear to the Lord. Of course, in this case, Maharaj Ambarish is a pure devotee of the Lord, so he is extremely dear to the Lord. But actually, everyone is dear to the Lord, because in everyone's heart, Krishna resides. Even in a little ant, even in a little worm, Krishna resides there. And especially between human beings, we must always remember that Krishna is there in others' hearts. And even though someone may not be showing that they are offended by how we're treating them, but Krishna is not happy when we are mistreating others. And he does not forgive. Actually, we have to come to that person and beg forgiveness, and then only can we be released of that offense. And another lesson here is that how amazing it is that even though Durvasa Muni was such a great sage, but he could not control his anger. He could not control his senses. He was so angry that he couldn't control himself. And on the other hand, we had a devotee who, even though he was attacked for no reason, who was offended for no reason, he did not react at all. He was not disturbed. He was just tolerating. He was so tolerant. And that's actually great power of the devotee. So how is it possible that Maharaj Ambarish didn't react? How is it possible that Maharaj Ambarish was able to control his senses? So there is one book called Nectar of Instruction, written or translated by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada for our benefit, and then he also added many purports there to explain to us what actually those texts are meant to teach us. So one of the verses is about controlling the senses. It says in Sanskrit, Vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam, jiva vegam udaropashta vegam, etan veganyo vishaheta dira, sarvam apimam pritivim sashishyat. So that verse says that a sober person who can tolerate the urges of the tongue, belly, genitals, and the urges of the mind, a person who can control those urges and demands of the mind, such a person is able to make disciples all over the world. So see, like Srila Prabhupada, who gave us all this, the ISKCON temples, the books, he was such a person that everyone fell at his feet. He was able to Shishirada Gokulananda ki, Sitaram Lakshmana Hanuman ki, Shishigora Nitai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. He was able to actually make disciples all over the world. So why was he able to do it? Because he was such a person who could control the senses. And that's the amazing thing, that he was actually able to control his senses, and that made him so powerful, because for him, all that he wanted is to please the Lord. He never wanted anything for himself. He never wanted to please himself. He only wanted to please Krishna. And because of that, he got so much power and so much influence on others. So in this verse, it is explained in the purport that the first sense that we need to control is our tongue. So everyone likes to speak, everyone likes to eat. These are two things. Maybe some people like to speak a lot, some people like to speak a little bit less, but in general, everyone has that need to speak. And many times we like to speak about other people, this person did that, or we like also to speak about ourselves. And actually this is not helping us so much. Of course we need to speak, we need to communicate with each other, but there is also a way to engage our power of speech in such a way that it will purify that sense, and it will help us to make spiritual progress, spiritual advancement. So it starts from chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this is the easiest way to control the sense of speech, because just by focusing our speech on Krishna's name, automatically, because this is a sound, spiritual sound vibration. So by uttering the names of God, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, so this sound is purifying us and purifying all around us. So it's very purifying, and the more we do it, the more we also will not be so inclined to talking about what's happening in the world, what's happening in the politics, in the news, or what my neighbor did. We will understand that these topics are just disturbing our mind, and that there are topics doesn't mean we should not get involved in this world. Doesn't mean we should not be aware of what's happening. But the thing is that there are topics that will help us to come closer to God, to develop relationship with Him, and to come closer to who we really are as the spirit soul. So those topics are the topics of Bhagavad Gita, like we're reading today, Srimad Bhagavatam. All the books that Srila Prabhupada translated are there for us. Krishna book, which describes the different pastimes of Lord Krishna. So all this is for our purification of our sense of speech. So the more we try to purify our speech, the more we also realize that this discussing topics about Krishna is uplifting us. It makes us happy and makes us feel satisfied. So that's so important. So that's the way to purify the urge of speech. And then, of course, from that, everything else we'll learn how to purify. And another way also to purify our tongue is by eating Krishna prasadam. So Krishna prasadam means the mercy of the Lord. Whatever Krishna wants us, that he says in Bhagavad Gita, Patram pushpam palam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati. So he says, if one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept it. So Krishna is asking us for simple items. He doesn't accept non-vegetarian items, but he just wants us to offer him something as an expression of love. And that's why also whenever we cook something or whenever we want to eat something, we offer it to Krishna to help us develop relationship with him, and also to purify that food from all karma, and to give it to Krishna to accept, and then it will purify us of our karma, and it will also help us to re-establish our relationship with Krishna. So this is very important. And the more we do it, the more our sense of taste and speech will become purified. So everyone can actually practice it at home. Chanting Hare Krishna mantra, everyone can do at home. We can start from 1 round a day. And maybe when you wake up 10 minutes earlier. And just do 1 round on Japamala, Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Every day. And you'll see how your life will start changing, how your mind will become more peaceful, and doesn't cost you anything. It's a spiritual practice that is completely pure. And then if we are feeling comfortable, then we can increase 2 rounds a day. And like this we can increase and see how the more we increase our number of rounds a day, the more we will feel connected to the Lord, connected to our source of existence, and we will feel guided by the super soul that is there in our hearts. But we have to re-establish that connection that we lost. So that all starts from the chanting and eating Krishna prasadam. What we eat has actually a great effect on our consciousness, and because there are foods in the mode of passion, ignorance, and goodness. So whatever we eat will affect us. So in the same way, when we offer to Krishna and Krishna accepts, and if we eat that prasadam, then it will slowly spiritualize our consciousness. It will help us. So with the senses, it's very interesting also because we said about the speech, then the mind is very difficult to control. Actually, Krishna says to Arjuna, to control the mind, it's more difficult to control the wind. Have you ever felt like that? That, for example, we just cannot get rid of some thoughts in our mind, or one day we cannot sometimes make a decision. One moment the mind says this, and another moment the mind says something else. Or, for example, we make some promise to ourselves that from tomorrow I will give up this. I don't know, someone may give up some bad habits like smoking, cigarettes, for example. And someone really wants to give it up. But then the next day, the mind is saying, you need it, and the senses are needing it. And if our intelligence is not strong enough, we will fall for it. In Bhagavad Gita, there is a beautiful analogy given that the senses are compared to the horses. So just like there are 5 senses, there are 5 horses. And if you ever seen a horse that is a wild horse, it's very wild, it's very difficult to control. It goes wherever it wants to go. But there is a way to train the horse, right? There is a way. So, but if it's not trained, then it will just go anywhere. And imagine now if you are in the chariot, and your chariot that you are in is driven by the horses which are completely wild. And let's say you say that, okay, I want to go to a specific destination, or I don't know, I want to go to Leicester. Of course, nobody goes in a horse chariot these days, but let's say if it was the option, we would say that, yeah, I want to go there. But then if I'm not able to control the horses, then they will take me wherever. So actually that passenger in the chariot is the soul. And then the person who drives the chariot is representing intelligence. And the reins that hold the horses is the mind. And the horses are the senses. So in this analogy, we can understand that the senses are very wild. And we can control the senses with the power of the mind. And the mind can be controlled if our intelligence is strong. And the intelligence will be strong if we spiritualize it, if we strengthen the intelligence by associating with saintly people, associating with the saintly knowledge from the scriptures. By chanting, by purifying our senses, we will actually strengthen our intelligence. And then, if our intelligence is strong and it's empowered by the knowledge from the scriptures, by association of saintly people, then we will have that power to control our mind, and the strong mind will be able to control the senses in such a way that we can actually get where we want to get. And that's what Srila Prabhupada was telling us, that he wants us to become Goswamis, not Godasas. Go means senses, and Swami means master. So Goswami means master of the senses, but Godas means the servant of the senses. So unless we are able to control our senses, then we will be the servants of our senses. And then we will, unfortunately, most likely not be able to fulfill our deepest desires, deepest aspirations that we have, that we all have. And what is the deepest desire, deepest aspiration? Any ideas deep desire that actually many times we cannot hear that desire, because we live in such a world these days that we have to work hard to maintain ourselves and our family, and there is no time to think deeply about our deepest desire. But the deepest desire of the soul, we are all spirit souls. We are in the body, but we are all spirit souls. Our real identity is the soul. And the desire of the soul is to serve God. And as they say that the proof is in the pudding. How do you feel when you come to the temple? Do you feel good, right? You feel good. And how do you feel when you're at work and you have to work long hours, and or when you, of course, these are our duties. We have to do our duties, and we can actually, from this verse, we learn that we can do our duties and spiritualize them if we have the right consciousness. But the thing is, when we come to the temple, we can feel really connected to Krishna. And we feel very happy because we are acting, we are connecting to our real identity as the soul. And we are now making a step to connect closer to Krishna. So there is I know we cannot always be at the temple, but like we said, there is a way to spiritualize our everyday life. So for like we said, we start from chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra every day, starting from one round. Every day you can sit here with your family and chant one round together, or you can do kirtan together, and then offer Krishna vegetarian meals that you cook, and just chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra 3 times and ask Krishna to accept it. And gradually, like this, you'll make spiritual progress. And even your work, yes, everyone has to go to work, but then we can offer some little percentage of what we earn to the temple for book distribution, something, so that we can also spiritualize our work. And remember that all that we are doing is actually to please the Lord. That's our ultimate goal, because that's the only way to be happy. If we please Him, that's the only way to be happy. And like this, with whatever we do, everyone has some special talents. Some people like cooking, some people like singing, some people like flower decorations. So we can engage all our talents in Krishna's service. And it's not that difficult. There's plenty of things that we can do. We just offer it all to Krishna, whatever we do. So, are there any questions at this point, or anyone would like to share some reflections? Or if there are any doubts or thoughts that you would like to share? Anyone has anything? Please don't be shy. We're here to share and discuss, so it is helpful for you. Is there anyone here who is for the first time at the temple? Everyone is regular? Or the first time in Bhagavad Gita class? Yes, the first time? Oh, nice, nice. So yes, that's another thing. Bhagavad Gita is a very powerful book, it's even reading one verse from Bhagavad Gita is so powerful. So I would really recommend, if you don't have this book yet in your home, to buy one copy and keep it in your home. And every day you can open and just read one verse with your family and discuss. Just try to understand. Read and just try to understand what Srila Prabhupada is saying. And like this, you will see that you will slowly start making spiritual advancement. A very simple way. Everyone can do it. So we can do a little bit of chanting, a little bit of reading, offer some food to Krishna, and come to the temple, spend time at the temple, and you will see that gradually your life will change and your life will become more beautiful, and you will feel more happy and connected to your real identity as the soul. That's the biggest teachings of Bhagavad Gita, that we are the soul, not this body. And the thing is that most of us have forgotten about it, that we are the soul. And the more we are focused on taking care of the body. And yes, we have to take care of the body, but if we neglect the soul, how can we be happy? It's just like if someone had a cage and kept a bird in the cage. But if the person is just taking care of the cage, polishing the cage every day and painting it with gold, golden cage, beautiful cage, but if we are not feeding the bird which is sitting there inside, then the bird will die. So in the same way, if we are just taking care of this external body, but we are not nourishing the soul that is there inside, then also we will feel like living, but we will feel like half dead actually, because our real identity is the soul. That's who we really are, and that's when we feel alive, when we are connected to Krishna. So if there are no questions at this point, then we can do a little bit of kirtan, and then will be arati. So because we were speaking about it, that is how we start controlling our senses, and that's how we start purifying our existence, how we develop connection with Krishna by chanting. So that's why we will chant a little bit. So please, we can all sing together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Thank you everyone very much. So Arati will start in a few minutes, but you can continue chanting. We will just set up in between. But please continue chanting. It's beautiful hearing